In today's video, I'm gonna be showing every single person watching over here how you can build the most profitable info business known to man. You see, in this day and age right now, if you do not understand your specific marketing and not just that, but how you can actually build an info offer to the level where you want it to be, you have to understand its deepest fundamentals, market research, psychology, conversion, fulfillment, everything. In this presentation, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the core fundamental concepts that I teach all of my clients inside of my own personal community, my own one-on-one inner team. And by the end of this video, you will have all the information necessary, the basics necessary for you to know how to speak to your audience, how to indirectly sell them, and how to make more money than ever before. Guys, in this market where every single person is pushing, I do pull marketing. Pull marketing is the number one biggest thing you can do right now in the industry. That's how I'm able to get DM closes all the time. That's how I'm able to get people DMing me saying, Jerry, can we please hop on a call? I don't ask for the call, they come to me. And it's only because I'm able to do these exact things that I'll talk about in this specific video. And the reason why I make this video is because I cannot tell you how many people I have coming to the DMs saying, Jerry, I don't know how to compile my offer. I don't know who I'm speaking to. I don't know what kind of marketing I have to do and how I can target my specific audience. Guys, this is the exact video you have to watch. Pay attention, take notes, let's begin. To start, in the info offer, imagine it like a huge ocean. You have a huge ocean over here, right? In the huge ocean, you only want to target a small, specific portion of what you want. I'll tell you guys why. Can't tell you guys how many people I've seen, coaches, trying to target people in all this mass area of the ocean. And what happens is that you aren't targeting the right person. The audience is too broad, and when the audience is too broad, you end up serving no one. When you serve no one, what happens is there's no messaging. So your messaging decreases tremendously. And because your messaging decreases tremendously, there is no conversion happening. So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys, the first lesson I'm going to tell you guys in business is going to be pick a specific audience. I cannot stress this enough. Let's say we talk about day traders, right? I want to target a specific audience, okay? So in this term, I'm using the term ICP. You guys have to know this is ideal client profile. So my ICP over here could easily be inconsistent traders stuck between 3 to 8K per month or 2 to 5K per month, whatever it might be, okay? Inconsistent traders stuck between, let's say, 1 and 5K per month. Now notice how I didn't go broad. I went very specific. Day trading in general is too broad. You want to talk about a specific clientele, which in this case is inconsistent traders stuck between 1 to 5K per month. Now the first step in marketing, the first lesson I'll tell you guys in marketing is don't start posting content right away. Do not start selling right away. You have to understand a couple things that matter so much. The first thing is going to be, what is their current situation? So right now, take a pen and paper and write down, what is your current prospect's situation? I want you to actually visualize and ideate and picture the exact current situation. How do they feel? What's their current struggles? Everything. What's their current situation? Then I want you to talk about what their problems are that they're facing. Guys, in marketing, the way you make money is by solving problems. But do not stop at just problems. For example, one problem could be blowing accounts, right? Blowing accounts could be one problem. But there's a deeply rooted problem behind that, a lack of confidence. And when they have a lack of confidence, it impacts their entire day-to-day. It impacts their mindset, their mental. It impacts everything about them. So that is the deeply rooted problem, right? So over here, we're gonna do lack of confidence. You have to do this exercise at least 10 more times. So write down different problems your audience has, and then write down after that the deep-rooted problems that they have, right? Lack of confidence could be another one. Another one over here could be lack of freedom. Why? Because they aren't able to consistently trade properly. So what happens is they have to rely to a 9-to-5 job, which ties them down, and they have a complete lack of freedom. This is so important. And if you guys understand this, like I said, you'll be able to make so much money. So this is the deep-rooted problem, okay? And keep going, guys, as much as possible, right? Now, what I want to talk about is, now that you have their current situation, you guys know how in-depth you have to go. And you guys know as well, on top of it, why we're going as in-depth. We need to start talking about messaging. Actually, sorry, before messaging, I want to talk about desired situation. right? Because desired situation is what will trigger all the psychology necessary. So desired situation over here. A generic situation could easily be making 10K per month. But you gotta ask yourself why. That's because they want the freedom. They want to be able to hug their mom after a long day of work and saying, Mom, here's $2,000 to you. You don't have to go to work anymore. That's why they want to do it. You understand? So that's the deep-rooted desire behind them, is to feel accomplished. Feel accomplished. So do you guys see this acts like a funnel, and you go from super, super broad to super specific? That's what you guys have to be doing at all times, because if you guys are not going very, very specific, what ends up happening is you're not hitting the exact psychology that you want, right? This all exercise takes my clients at least half a day upon onboarding. So I'm serious, pick a specific niche in the market that you want. After that, start talking about the desired situation, talk about the deep-rooted problems, and talk about where they want to be, what's the desired outcome, and why do they want to feel that way? Why? For example, if I had to do my niche, I'll tell you guys right now, my niche is business coaches and consultants. And one of the desired situations that they want to be is exactly what I'm doing now. You watching right now as a coach and consultant, you want to be in Dubai right now. You want to have a very nice camera overlooking the entire palm. You want to be able to make videos like this that are not made very often. And you want to be able to have consistent income. You want to be able to, for me to wake up 2 days ago when I first landed to Dubai and make an 18K day, a 13K USD crypto transfer, and a 6K payment plan come through. You want to be able to have this. And me saying this just pulls your desire more and more. That's what you have to be doing with your marketing. So don't just follow key trends. You have to explain and talk to people and include in your messaging, what do they deeply desire? So you right now watching, you desire consistency. But why? Why consistency? Because you want more confidence. Right? Because inconsistency in your income breeds low confidence in your business. Because if you knew you would make 50K next month, you'd have the confidence. That's how it works in business, guys. And the only way you can have confidence is it relates to the amount of income you can make. And if it's a consistent amount of income, then you have the most amount of confidence. All right, guys, now we're back in business. So full transparency, I had to remake part of the video just because there was the sun that was setting and you guys weren't able to properly see what I was essentially writing and how I was speaking. So I had to remake part of the video, and I'm blessed to be able to do so because now I will go even more in depth to how I went prior so you guys get the full benefit. So let's go back to what I was saying, which is positioning is by far one of the most important concepts you have to understand in the info business. Let's say, for example, this is your market over here, okay? Now, as you guys know, the info market is ever changing. And if you position yourself inside the info market, you know what happens is you're self-commoditizing yourself in real life. What you have to be doing is you have to act outside the info market looking in. And the only way you can master positioning is by doing one of two things or two of two things. Number one is going to be, what is your unique mechanism? Now, I know a lot of people talk about this, but I'll go really in depth as to what I actually mean. Your unique mechanism has to be important and very characteristically specific to you. If you're a day trader, if you're an e-com coach, if you're a business coach, you have to have a specific unique mechanism that you can use for yourself and for your clients. So when people watch your page, when people watch your content, they know what your unique mechanism is. It's really important. The second thing I want to talk about is going to be your personality. Guys, we are talking about building a personal brand here. So many of you forget the fact that you have to actually have a personality and showcase your value, your traits, and who you are as a person on social media. If you aren't doing this, this is why you're getting commoditized. So positioning is huge. The best example I could give you is, say for example, I'm a day trading coach. Well, one very broad message could be, I help traders. That's very broad. But if I wanted to go niche and really master positioning, I would say, I help stuck or inconsistent traders between 1 to 3K per month with unique mechanism over here. And then I would have a YouTube link in bio, link to YT over here, where you could push them towards a long form asset. And that is the best example I could give you of being very specific with your marketing and having specific positioning. Because the thing is, guys, you have to understand is that the info industry is very profitable, but it's only as profitable as you make it. Because there's always gonna be people making more and people making less. Like Tate says, have nots and have yachts. Guys, the info industry is the exact same. While one business coach is making 100K a month, another one is making 10K a month because he's self-commoditizing himself. You're doing the same Miro boards, or you're doing the same different videos that everyone else is doing in this space. If you're a trading coach and you're flexing the lifestyle, you're doing what everyone else is doing and you're hopping right into the market and you're not differentiating yourself. People just look at you and they keep scrolling, because if you have, say for example, okay, I'm doom scrolling, I'm your audience right now, okay? I'm a trader that wants to be more consistent. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different reels. And from these 7 different reels, I see the same. I see lifestyle, flexing the car. I see lifestyle, flexing. I see this guy showing off maybe like his watch collection, whatever it might be. I see him talking about a little bit about trading. If I see the same things over here, but then I see this one reel, and this one reel has a specific variation, a specific theme to it. This guy is talking about his unique mechanism, about his personality. All of a sudden, what happens? All of a sudden, it doesn't matter all these videos that I just watched previously. I'm going to focus on this exact reel. That, guys, is how you stop and garner attention. And the reason why positioning is important is because the moment you have positioning and the moment people listen to what you're speaking, here's what happens. Your authority drastically increases, because people now associate a specific part of the market to you. You have went inside the market and you have taken part of the market that is now only yours. And what happens is the more you post, the more market you're gonna take, the more people you're gonna take. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you have a quarter of the market, right? This is why positioning starts from the bottom and all the way to the top is how you're gonna be able to master it. Right? Because the more authority you have, the more people want to listen to you. And all of a sudden, you're differentiating yourself in real time. And another reason why positioning is so important is because people want to have their problems solved from individuals that they feel that they trust, they respect. And the best way to do it is by talking about niche problems. Notice how, guys, it goes back to what I was saying before about understanding your market to its fullest fundamental detail. Because when you have niche problems and you can portray niche solutions, this is the moneymaker, guys. This is the moneymaker. This over here is what it takes to make as much money in the info space as possible. This is what you need to be doing. You have to ask yourself a series of questions. Number 1 is write a list, 10 reasons why someone would pay you money. Why would actually someone pay you money and not someone else? And actually be very, very detail oriented about this. Don't be broad. Don't say something like, oh, I'm knowledgeable, oh, I'm smart. Like, no, actually be specific. Why would someone pay you money specifically? Because you're family oriented and all you care about is giving money back to your family, or because all I care about are my clients' results and all the money that they give me, I give back to my clients and I reinvest back into the business. There's so many different angles you could use as to why someone would pay you money. You have to really understand why someone would pay you money and not your competitors. Once you write that list down, ask yourself again, what would you have to show in your social media to make someone want to buy from you without needing a sales call? So 10 ways someone can join without sales call. Ask yourself these questions. What would I have to show on my front end, on my social media? What would I have to speak about for someone to want to join without needing a sales call? And the best thing is that you're targeting a specific market. Let's say you're a trader, sales coach, fitness coach. I have clients in all these industries. The way you want to portray it is this. Let's say this is the graph over here. Okay? And the graph goes from when you were inconsistent to where you are now. The only mental model you have to have is this. Back when you were starting out at your beginning journey, all you have to ask yourself is what content did you have to see on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube that would have made you want to join and work with someone as much as possible? This is what you have to ask yourself. Because the moment you ask yourself these questions, what happens is you know exactly what kind of Instagram reels you have to do. You know exactly what kind of YouTube videos you have to do. So notice how all the answers are in your head. It's just blocked because you don't have the way of thinking that you need to have. So this is how I would unlock your positioning. I would gather a part of the market and I would start to have more people come towards me. This has helped you so much. And then after you take all of this information and you put this into Claude.ai. You put this into Claude and you're gonna be feeding it every single day. Talk to it day in and day out about you, about your story. Literally have a 5 to 6 minute conversation after this video and do these 3 things. Is 10 reasons why someone would pay you, different ways someone would join without any sales call. And lastly is talk to Claude. Easily a 3 to 10 minute audio message as to your journey, your transformation, what you've been through. Everything. Be as descriptive as possible. This will help you so much, okay? I cannot even stress to you guys how much this has helped me in my business, okay? So That's positioning at its core and finest detail. Now you guys have no excuse as to why you're commoditizing yourself, right? Now you guys have no excuse as to why you're posting the same content as everyone, because you know that this isn't the way to win big in the info industry. You know it's not the way, okay? So now the one thing I want to talk about as well that I think is super, super important is we spoke about messaging, we spoke about positioning, but we have yet to understand how to actually build the proper backend. Now, the backend of a business, to keep it very simple, is what the market doesn't see. You see, the market sees your reels, it sees your Instagram, it sees your YouTube, but it doesn't see what happens the moment someone pays. It doesn't see the fulfillment, it doesn't see your delivery, and your backend will dictate how your business goes. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. You can have the nicest cars in the world, the nicest lifestyle in the world. If your backend is not good, your clients will speak poorly about you, which will lead to less conviction in your marketing, which will lead to less closed deals, less cash collected, and before you know it, the marketing doesn't make any more sense because the backend is not there to fulfill. So it all starts from the backend. So I want to explain to you guys how to build a proper backend A to Z. What you're gonna have is this. Now, I will preface this and say, if you are under 20K per month, then just do one small lower ticket and one mid ticket to gather as much one-on-ones as possible with your clients to gain as many results. But if you're making, let's say, between 20 to 40K plus per month, you're gonna have 3 different ticket prices. This is how you build a proper backend. You have the lower ticket, you have the mid ticket, and you have the high ticket. And every single component will be different. This will just be modules and will be community, right? For some kind of support. The mid ticket can easily be the modules. So essentially, like what's in the lower ticket, right? Community. But on top of that, you're also going to have the group calls. Now, guys, you could always add resources. You could always add bonuses. This is just a very generic way of doing it. For the high ticket, it'll be the same. The modules, you'll have the community, you'll have the group coaching, and you'll have the one-to-one. Plus, I always love adding over here access to a VIP mastermind. Access to a VIP mastermind. You know what will happen is that when you hop on a sales call and you talk about how because you're joining the one-to-one, you also have access to a live in-person mastermind once a year for free. All you gotta do is pay your ticket, pay your travels and pay your food and pay everything. Everything else is covered once you get there. This right away increases the perception so much more than you possibly imagine. So access to VIP is huge. But Jerry, how do you ascend them one by one into the higher ticket? Because guys, the goal should be if someone is over here and enter the low ticket, you want to essentially upsell them into the mid ticket and then upsell towards the high ticket. How do you do it? I'll explain to you guys exactly how. Guys, I can't believe I'm giving away this much sauce for free. I cannot believe, but I'm still gonna do it regardless. So what you wanna do is this. For the low ticket, what I tell all my clients to do, so if you're a growth operator, right, tell this to your clients. If you're your own coach, then do this for your own community, is pass the, I would say 8 to 10 week mark. I want you to have a courtesy coaching call, and you're gonna frame it as a way as if you're helping the person, but in reality, it's a sales call, and you're gonna use them to upsell them into the group call. And why would they go with someone else when you already have their credit card information and they already know that you could help solve part of their problems? And guys, in business, problems are very increasing. What I mean is that if I draw a graph, right, and someone is at 5K per month, they're gonna have different problems that if they were at 50K per month, but the problems never end. And so your solutions should never end either. So you upsell them from the low ticket to the mid ticket. And then the same thing with the mid ticket, they come in with the group coaching. And after about 8, 10, even maybe 12 weeks, you have a courtesy coaching call and you say, brother, look, you've already made this much progress in the group community, but do you feel like with these current obstacles that you still have, extra one-to-one basis would actually help? Do you feel that way? They'll say, yes, of course it would help. Okay, cool. Well, for just an extra 3K, instead of the regular 10K ticket price, I can put you in the one-on-one, and you can have access also to a VIP mastermind. And they're gonna say yes 100% of the time if they have the money. So that is how you made an extra $3,000. But it doesn't just stop there, because what if you have 10 people in the low ticket? What if you have 20 people in the mid ticket, then only 5 people in the high ticket? What happens is the 10 people, let's say only 5 of them join the mid ticket. That's okay, because if it's priced at an extra 3K, you just made 15 extra $1,000. And then from the mid ticket all the way to the high ticket, let's say only 6 people join, but that's fine because the ticket price difference is $3,000. You know what happens is you just made 6 times 13 is $18,000. And this is how you can easily add an additional $30,000 to $40,000 in a cycle of every 8 to 12 weeks, totaling more than hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. This is the definition of how to build such a proper upsell process that people always want to grow, people always want to do more. But let me tell you guys the secret that people don't say, which is this. You have to gather so much information from your current backend, okay? And many people forget to do this, but when you have your group coaching calls, you have to have a pre-call form. On this pre-call form, you have to be asking them over here what their current position is in the business. Pre-call form. You have to ask yourself where they're currently at in the business, what problems are they currently facing, how long are they in the business, and what have they tried to do to solve them? What kind of questions do they have? You know why? Because if you have a pre-call form and you have gathered, let's say 10 to 20 people on this pre-call form, you have so much information from your audience, from your community, that you could definitely not only increase the fulfillment by doing more modules, right? If I have 20 people telling me, yeah, Jerry, I'm actually stuck when it comes to content production and when it comes to filming YouTube videos, and that's the most common bottleneck I have, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make modules and have coaching calls based around this specific topic. So then client satisfaction increases, confusion decreases, results increase, more testimonials, more client results, more marketing, more calls booked on the calendar, more cash collected, all because I gathered information from my group calls and from my back end, and the back end pushed it all the way towards the front end. That's the way the info industry works. And another thing I do as well is that you're also gonna do an attendance sheet, because you want to see at what point in time in your backend do people end up churning. If you see a pattern, you see that it always happens around the 8 to 10 to 12 week mark, that's a problem. You're gonna have to fix it. You have to add coaching calls. You have to add different support systems to make sure you prevent people from churning. This is so important, okay? This is how to build a proper backend. What I want to talk about as well is the moment someone joins, the moment someone is going to pay you money, you have to extract as much information as possible from them. And this is by what I like to call an onboarding form. An onboarding form is as simple as the moment someone pays you, the moment someone joins, you have to be asking them a series of questions that will tell you what kind of information you have to keep putting into your content. So the moment someone pays you money, right? I have a client over here. He just paid me 10K. And he just joined the market. I'm not gonna just throw him into a group call or throw him into a support chat and call it a day. I'm going to make him fill out an onboarding form. And this onboarding form will be a series of different questions that I will use to gather as much information as possible. It will be a series of questions asking, how did you find out about me? That tells me what channel source I have to double down on. I can ask, what specific style of content made you attracted to me? What could have I done in my marketing to make you want to work with me even earlier? How long did it take for you to decide to want to work with me? What hesitations did you have ahead of time? What objections did you have that prevented you from joining me earlier? Guys, do you see how if I have 20 of these questionnaires answered, I'm gonna have so much information to know exactly what reels I have to do. I'll know how much time it took for someone to pay me money. So I know how to shorten the time because I'm asking them questions in real time of what could have I done to make you join me earlier? So then what happens? You have all this information and you put it back into the front end. You put it back into the marketing. So it's better content, better modules, better reels, better YouTube. And you're doing it not based off of what you think, you're doing it based off of what you know is already working. This is so important. You have to be doing this. Notice how all I spoke about for today was the basis of an info industry, the basis of an info business, which is the proper messaging, the proper positioning, the proper backend build, and everything. And guys, the reason why messaging is so important is because I know you guys watching right now, you want to be able to have a 20K day like I had yesterday. You want to be able to go to the nice beach, enjoy, see a 13K crypto transfer go through, and know that everything is streamlined, everything is taken care of, and your calls are being booked left, right, and center. You want to have a consistent acquisition. You want to have a consistent backend. You want to have a community of clients where you know they all trust you and they all want to pay you large sums of money. You want all these things. Why? Because I was once in your shoes where I wasn't able to have all these things, and I invested in myself and I grew and I grew and I grew and I grew, and I'm still growing now. That is messaging. That is messaging as fine as detail, right? When you're able to know who you're speaking to and what the audience craves, the way I know what you guys crave. You crave consistency. Consistency breeds confidence. The reason why you aren't confident in your marketing, the reason why you aren't confident in the info industry is not because of the market. Guys, keep this in mind. The market is good, the market's growing, but you aren't. Your lack of confidence comes from your inconsistency of revenue. And the moment you start to fix that is the moment your confidence increases. And your confidence will be shown in the marketing the way my confidence is, because I'm consistent with everything I do in my life. So fix the consistency, the confidence will follow, and so will the marketing. Get the messaging on point, get the positioning on point, act different to people in your industry, different variations, different formats, different locations, different common themes, different values, different personality traits. Build a backend so strong it can sustain 100K per month, 150K per month, have different resources, different SOPs, different libraries, different coaching calls, group calls, exactly what I have. Build a backend so when someone comes in, someone can come in and pay you only 2K on a low ticket, and you know that with the proper upsell system that you have because of this video, you could easily squeeze an extra 3K from them for the mid ticket, or to the high ticket, an extra 6K from them. And you know that if you have a high ticket where you have access to a mastermind event and the mastermind ticket is $5,000, someone from a low ticket can finance it and join the 5K mastermind only. And that is just more and more and more cash being given into your pockets, all because you know how to properly upsell people, because you know how the psychology works. And the only reason why the psychology works is because you've done your market research. You've been able to do the proper audience research, and you know proper positioning, you know proper messaging. Guys, right now, the way your Instagram should look like is like this after this video. This is your IG over here. You have your profile picture, you have your different analytics, here's your follow button, you have your stories right over here. Then you have your different reels over here. If you are not showing in real time different content categories, you are losing on the amount of traction that you could be getting. Let me explain. Let's say in these different reels, you all have different categories that are hitting different buying triggers to your audience. Over here, you have trust-driven content. Over here, you have educational-driven content specific to your market. Your market has a specific problem. You provide the solution to it in a specific video format. Over here, you have a personal video talking about your specific value videos. And so over here, you have your unique mechanism. Look how different categories influence my perception on you. Because I could come in from a trust-driven content, and just in a span of 5 minutes, I can go through an educational video. So wow, expertise increases. I can go through a personality video. Wow, familiarity increases. I could go through a unique mechanism, a unique messaging, a unique strategy video. Positioning is made, authority is built, and the trust-driven content helps me see that you have client results. And what happens is all this leads to a follow. And the moment someone follows is the moment your DM setter reaches out and DMs them and leads with value as much as possible. And once they find their unique pain point, what happens is they send over a YouTube video asset, and the nurture starts there. And one of two things happen. Either they stay in the YouTube and then they go back into Instagram, into the DMs, which will mean more conversation, and then call is booked. A second option will be they go on the YouTube, they don't go back on the Instagram, but guess what happens is with time, because you have an ecosystem of content, because you know exactly what you're doing after the past couple minutes, they will be nurtured time and time and time again until eventually they hop on the DMs, and on the DMs they book a call, and that's how you will close the deal. Guys, the info space is not as hard as you make it seem. You're just constantly copying people, and that's why you're commoditizing yourself. You don't have a personality on page. You don't have a proper brand image. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have clarity. You might have the information with no clarity or guidance. With no one telling you step by step, this is your 6-month roadmap. With no one telling you this, you won't get the results you want. I had a client, Gabe, a phenomenal client. He paid me through the DMs the beginning of December. He was stuck making 13K a month. It's February 28th, the last day of February. Guess how much he made this month? He cleared a 50K USD month. Guys, you understand the level of satisfaction I get seeing my client paying me on the first week of December, making 13K last month. And this month he closed on his biggest month ever in his life, with a newborn on the way, with a nice wife that he's marrying, with a nice brother that he has, with a nice business partner that he has. He's creating a beautiful family, and he has a consistent revenue stream, all because he put his ego to the side, he invested in himself, and he had a clear path as to what he had to do. And now his Instagram is converting everything for him. Or my client Daniel, for example, where beginning December, he had no mentorship. He had no money coming in from his backend. And we built the backend together, and now he's averaging 50K months. This is the beauty of the info space. You're making your life harder than it actually could be. Just find someone that can guide you. Find someone that knows what you want to know. Listen to them. Follow the step-by-step actions, week by week, day by day, month by month, and your results will compound. You will compound because you're limitless. You are limitless. Every single one of you guys watching right now, your potential inside you is there. I feel it. But potential is nothing without action and execution. And why take more time when it could take less time? Guys, I hope this helped you guys. I hope this guys give you clarity as much as possible. I paid so much money to teach you guys what I just went through now. And there's so much more in depth that I could go to right now. But the sun is burning me alive. I got a couple of client calls I got to take. I want to go work out. I want to go to the beach and tan a little bit, come back and work and film some more content, because this is the life that I've made for myself. This is the life that I've built for myself when I've sacrificed years and years of filming content, of working, of scaling, and I'm still in the growth phase, but I'm able to actually enjoy it because I have a system that works for me. I know I can film this content. This will land me 5 clients in the next 3 weeks. I know I can go to the beach and my DM setter is consistently DMing people. I know that my content team is pumping reels as we speak. I have edits happening. Life could be amazing. Just structure your life, structure your business in a way that makes sense. Get the proper guidance and you will enjoy business so much more. And if you thought about the info industry dying, it's not, it's just growing. It's you that's commoditized. Fix the internal and the external will follow. As always, guys, stay blessed. God bless every single one of you.